All right.
All
We're
right,
back.
We're back. It's the Cavalry.
It's the Cavalry, and
Bare
this is
bones.
weird. Bare bones, guestless for the first time in a while.
Just a dynamic duo.
Yeah, the original.
On purpose. It wasn't a booking flub.
Yeah, and it wasn't like an error, and it also wasn't that we literally could not get anyone else. Like we've asked everybody, and they all turned us down. Trust me, we have plenty of people dying to be on the podcast, but we just, we like to every once in a while reignite.
Just give the fans what they want, 100%. Not flood it with a bunch of bullshit. No offense
Johnny,
to our guests.
we've talked about this. These nice guests, come on, you can't insult them like that. No, but yeah, give them the unadulterated Cavalry. The pure.
Yeah.
The
Just
pure.
how it was envisioned, how it was born.
Right. The original, the original vision of the podcast was just the two of us sort of running out of things to talk about.
Right, exactly. Just as we
no, but one of the reasons why we're doing this is because you're going on vacation and you're going to be gone. So we got to jam in a couple extra episodes here early in the week. Where are you going on vacation? Everybody wants to know.
I should know the Gulf Coast, the Gulf Shore. Is that it? The Gulf Shore.
You were gonna start that sentence with "I should know where I'm going on vacation." You should know.
We're driving.
You should absolutely know that.
Driving. It's in Alabama. It's as far down as you can go. It's on the shore. It's on the water. So it's the Gulf Shore of Alabama.
The Gulf Coast.
Gulf Coast. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't.
I think so, yeah. That's like, like Bubba Gump Shrimp.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember he becomes a shrimpy
at
captain?
the mall in Minneapolis, and that's not on the coast.
Yeah, but that's where they get their
the shrimp
French fries from. Yeah.
So that's where we're going, and we're driving.
Wow, that's great. That's interesting. That's like that's not a vacation. You don't hear a lot of people going to Alabama for vacation.
Yeah. And when my wife told me that's where we're going, I said the same thing. Oh, that's not a lot of people.
Can I do a hacky husband and wife joke?
Please.
We were walking. There's two layers to how hacky this husband and wife joke is. So we were walking in our neighborhood, and one of these Portland neighbors put up like a domestic violence awareness sign, and it says, and it's got all these little tabs you can rip off, with the phone number.
Yeah.
And it says, does your partner not allow you to, or does your partner control who you talk to, where you go, and who you hang out with? Grab one of these. And then, of course, I took one and I said, hey, Heidi, I got my partner controls. And then, so that's hacky level 1. Here's hacky level 2. She's like, we've walked by that sign before, and you've made that joke before. I was like, I have no memory of that. And now I'm telling it on the podcast. That's how stupid it is.
Funny.
Yeah.
No, but Heidi, I couldn't remember if last time I was with you or if I was with some other girl when I walked.
Yeah, I was with my mistress, who also abuses me.
Right.
No, my wife and my mistress don't abuse me. Well, Alabama, that'll be fun. What are you going to do?
I don't know. What do you do? I've never been there. I guess I'd like to lay out on the beach. I want to lay out on the beach. It's kind of cold.
There'll
here
be
in
a
Madison.
beach.
I'm hoping it's warm down there, right? Should be warm. It's
sure it'll be warmer than Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be nice. We're going with our two other families that have kids similar ages that are in our.
That'll be fun for the kids.
Yeah, so that'll be nice.
Have some kids to run around with. Did you rent a big house?
You
don't know. Why am I asking you?
Yeah, Aaron, can you come down here? Andrew has a lot of logistics.
I'm sorry for prying. I'm feeling the itch. I don't know about you. That's good you're getting out of town, because it's weird having done comedy most of my adult life. I've never looked forward to a vacation before, because I feel like every vacation is just worse than, it's like, oh, you mean I go fly somewhere and they don't pay me to be there?
And
I have to
pay for
pay.
the hotel.
What? And the food and the beer, nothing's comped. This is awful.
Yeah.
You know. And then now though, we're gonna go to Palm Springs, I think, in another month. And I do know. Actually, I know exactly because
Don't act like you're better than
I've
me.
looked
Don't act like
into
you're better than
it.
me 'cause you know the details of your trip.
I know when we're going. I know how we're getting there. I know where Palm Springs is.
Sure.
But
you have a
and
place
I'm like,
there, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
We have like an Airbnb we rent out most of the year, and then so we're gonna stay there. But then we're I'm like dying for. I was so looking forward to it because like I was saying with that thing with the walk, we go on these walks, and it's like it's a very nice neighborhood that we live in. But God, I'm so sick of every little house, every cute little, fence and dog. It's just the same. It's just the same walk over and over and over again, So I'm ready for to spice things up. And I don't think I was in that rut until because I've done the road now twice in the last month or so. And I think that's awoken something in me like, oh yeah, there's a whole world out there. That I'm missing out on. Yeah. Well, that'll be fun. It's a long drive, though, right?
Yeah, we're stopping in Birmingham on the way there and then Nashville on the way home to kind of break it up. But
there you go.
Yeah,
you'll have a blast.
We're leaving at like 2 in the morning on Saturday, and it is currently Thursday as we're recording this. I have not packed. All the other families, all the moms, they're like, oh, yeah. Like on last Sunday, they're like, yeah, we're almost done packing. Aren't you going to need that stuff between now and when we leave? Like, what are you talking about?
Right. I got to do a laundry cycle between now and Saturday. I think that's a comedian thing. I think comics don't pack until the night before.
Yeah.
If that, My Heidi will pack like a few days before, and it always blows my mind. It's like, why? It's like a 20-minute thing. I guess with kids, though, it probably takes forever. So
yeah, kids, and she's doing meal prepping, which, I'm happy with, Taco Bell every few miles, but she's not on the same page as we've discussed previously. So we'll be packing sandwiches and meatballs and shit.
That's so funny. You go on vacation and you eat healthier because there's nowhere for you to go. There's no.
I know I'm under tight supervision.
Yeah. That'll be good for you.
Yeah, this will be. I am looking forward to it. She was like, because she like planned it and was like, oh, hey, we're gonna do this with the families. I was like, okay, oh, all right, that sounds good. And then she was like, oh, you don't seem excited. What's going? Why aren't you excited? You don't seem to care. And I think it is exactly what you said. It's like, well, I'm used to traveling every week, so it's like I am excited. I'm not going to talk about it because this is what I would do all the time.
I know. I do. And it's, again, I just think it's like this. I'm hitting it. I'm like, because remember that thing when you used to fly when you were like, before you were doing the road or whatever, and you would literally like, you couldn't sleep the night before a vacation. You would be so excited, or you'd be thinking about, okay, we're going to get to the airport. I have my tickets. I'm going to, are we checking the bag? Yeah. And then when we get there, we have the rental car. I have the reservation number written down. Like, I'll show up now at airports. I'm like, I hope there's a reservation at one of these rental car counters, otherwise I'll just have to get a car from one of them right now. Like there's literally no, and if it weren't for my phone, like that's the only way I know anything is like, oh, I have the receipt in my phone. I just hand them my phone and be like, here, you tell me where my car is.
You dig through my old emails.
Yeah.
I don't want
But I remember that feeling like I literally couldn't sleep the night before. And it's weird. I don't have that. I've never had that anymore. And
the novelty's worn off.
The novelty wears off. Yeah. It's like a weird part of you. Maybe I'll get it back though. I don't know. I'll let you know before we go to Palm Springs. I'll let you know if I get the feeling back.
Let me ask you this: do you prefer driving or flying in general when you're traveling to a gig?
Flying.
Yeah.
I hate driving. I used to prefer driving. I used to like love the idea of just like not having to deal with the airport because just get in the car and go, even if it's
Yeah.
like the perfect example is LA to Vegas because it's like what, a 4-hour drive
Mm-hmm.
or like a 45-minute flight. And you're like, who would fly? Just get in the car. By the time you like go through security and the lines and you get on the
Yeah.
plane, you're up, you're down, you might as well have just driven, right?
Yeah.
But then that drive is so treacherous because like these maniacs are driving like 120 miles an hour, passing you in the like, in the right lane and stuff, and going around trucks, and it's like I kind of hate driving now. It's weird. I used to drive so much, and I would drive like, like you did, I'm sure, like 8-9 hours to gigs, and now I'm the opposite. I would fly every time. Some distances are too short. They don't make the flight. Like they don't do an LA to Palm Springs flight. But when we used to go to Palm Springs, it would be like we should only be like an hour and a half drive, but it would be like 3-4 hours sometimes because of traffic. And like I would kill to just get on a plane to Palm Springs.
So that's like flying from Milwaukee to Chicago, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's like so short. It's stupid. They don't have it because it would be so dumb. For the plane.
Do have it. I mean, every time I fly out, in Milwaukee, you're always flying to Chicago and then to the main plane.
Yeah, but they have that probably just for layovers, right? Like
Right.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
But so or like they'll do Portland to Seattle, but the only thing I prefer over the Portland to Seattle, cuz it's not even a time thing, cuz it's like a 45-minute flight or like a 3-hour drive from Portland to Seattle. But I'd take the train. I don't mind taking the train even. I just don't like to drive anymore, I think. It stresses me out. I don't like other drivers. I hate it.
It's like my meditation period. I got I'm doing something. I'm being productive. I'm going somewhere, but I'm just relaxing. I'm sitting in a car. I love it.
Yeah.
That's why I always drive home after.
I think that's because you have less you're not worried if something horrible happens to your family, I'm like sitting there stressed out because like, what if we get hit? And you're like, maybe I'll just run this car.
Oh no, that only applies to if I'm driving alone. I will fly with family included. Fly.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah.
To Milwaukee from Madison. I can't be in the car with my family. That's why we're leaving at 2 a.m. is because I want to get in. I want everyone to pass out immediately so I can get as much coverage as I can. Pretending I'm by myself while everyone's asleep.
Oh, okay. I get that completely. Because my parents were like, "Why don't you drive to Palm Springs?" We did that once during the pandemic, when Heidi was pregnant, because we were worried about flying. And it's like, no, with a baby and a dog, there is no way I'm driving 2 12-hour shifts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that is just like even if the baby is horrible on the flight, which I don't think she will be, but even if she is, it's 2 hours. I can do anything for 2 hours. She screams her head off for 2 hours. It's like, sorry, I don't know. It's a 2-hour flight. We're not going to Paris. Everyone can just settle down, But on a 12-hour drive, oh no.
Yeah. Oh God. Do you fly with Trudy?
Yeah. So it used to be like she was an emotional support animal,
Sure.
Because she is. Yeah. She used to provide emotional support. No, she still does. My wife had her like, because it was just a way to like get her on the plane, and you had to get a note. It was actually a pretty rigorous process. You had to get a note from your therapist or your psychiatrist, and then all this stuff. And but then obviously you heard all those news stories like, oh, an emotional support llama and an emotional support lizard was on the plane, and then it got out of control, a peacock or whatever. So now they cut that way back. They're like, no more emotional support animals. So she's small enough though that you can just pay.
So now Heidi's blind and Trudy is.
You're ahead of me here. We were willing. Let me put this out there first before the people at Alaska Airlines get upset. Sure. I called and said, because we have a baby too. So I was like, I don't want to push it. I'm already calling to tell them, hey, we're going to have a lap infant, Yeah. But then I was like, also, we're going to have a dog. We know she can't fly as an emotional support animal anymore, but we'll just pay the $100 fee to put her in the carrier, and then you can put them under the seat in front of you. That's like the other option. Because if they're small, if they're a small enough dog,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was an option.
yeah. So that's like basically you either pay or you get the little letter. But
okay.
So I was all ready to pay. And then they were like, well, actually on your flight, you don't have the room where you're sitting. You don't have the room under the seat in front of you. So you can't do that. So I was like, well, okay. So now we're going to have to get someone to watch. I don't want to leave the dog for 2 weeks with somebody. Like, what are we going to do? Yeah. And she was like, well, it's actually, she basically told me, if you go on our website, you can get her registered as an actual therapy, not an emotional support dog, but as a trained therapy. Yeah, as a doctor. She is now Dr. Trudy. She's completed her MCAT. She did very well on her tests. And let me tell you something. It was so much easier to get her this clarification than it was the emotional support. The emotional support thing was actually a rigorous process. Took me 2 seconds. You just fill out like a little piece of paper, said she's trained or whatever, that she doesn't have rabies, and they're like, yeah, you're done.
Well, how long till people start bringing their, therapy peacock?
Exactly. I was like, what are you doing? You're just resetting the timer till everybody figures this one out, and then everyone's going to have their peacock on again. It's chaos. Yeah. But in the meantime, I just want to put it out there, though. I'm not one of these. I was totally willing to just pay the money and have her in the carrier, but they have some stupid miniature plane that I'm on or something, and so they brought this on themselves. I want that out there to the world.
All right. You're a good person.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping to get from you. No, because there's a lot of backlash from people who are like, oh, these people bring their dogs on planes and they're not really a therapy emotional support animal. It's like,
yeah.
Is it really bothering you? You know what I mean? Like, if you have allergies, but this dog is
well, that's what I was going to say. Is like people that have allergies.
Yeah, but she's hypoallergenic, and she doesn't make a sound. She's under our seat. Like, you're never even going to know she's there. I don't know. Everyone can kiss my ass. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. I take back my good person comment.
I have allergies. I understand. I'm not totally unsympathetic to it, but I think people get too upset about stuff. In fact, if I was on a plane with a peacock on it, I'm actually pretty excited about that. I don't know why that was necessarily a problem. That's a good Instagram photo.
That's
right
a story.
There.
It's a good story.
Yeah, it's a story. It's at least 45 likes, I got to say. If I get a nice peacock on a plane picture,
yeah,
that's a good Instagram post.
Gonna get some likes. Oh, that's okay. So for final pre-show banter topic, let's talk about this TikTok thing.
Oh yeah. Oh my. I don't even know why I'm on this podcast anymore.
Well, when did you start posting on TikTok?
Well, I got this comic got into my ear about it. He sent me this thing. He's like, "Yeah, I see you posting like stand-up videos on your Instagram." He's like, "Really? Like Instagram, there's no growth on there anymore." He's like, if you have all this video, you should put it on TikTok because it's a lot easier to get people to watch it. And this is how, and then he was like, you got to caption them though, and you got to put on the stupid title on each one. And so I was like, just gave myself this dumb challenge. I was like, okay, I wanted to do 90 videos in 90 days. I was like, I'm going to do one a day for 90 days and just see where it's at.
All stand up. Your goal is
all stand up.
Clips.
All stand up. At least, and then I think I did one of those things where I do like jokes just to the camera, but mostly all stand up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even know if I have enough content for that. It's really going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
But I'm going to try it, And it went, and it was true. It was easier to get people to watch and follow you on there.
It's like addictive
than other websites. But then here comes. So then I was doing it for like I probably had like 20 days in or something on there, and then here comes Johnny, joins TikTok, and just in 2 days completely blows past me. He has one video gets like 1 billion views, and he's got all these followers. Now you're like a big TikTok star, and I'm over here toiling away, working way harder at it, and you just effortlessly show up and dominate. So
no, I'm not trying to be condescending here, but did you label any of your videos my son's penis and have it yanked and then reposted called my son's ding dong. That's where all my followers are from that one. Like my videos all have like 1,000 views or whatever. And then this one has 1.8 million. And it's because it's called my son's ding dong. And it's all about, that one joke about Aaron saying that our son had his penis.
It's a really funny bit. You guys should check it out. It's not. It might be. It's not a. It's a wholesome direction. It's not as inflammatory. That's so funny though that you got around the censorship issue by going from penis to ding dong.
No, it's ding-a-ling.
Or ding-a-ling. Oh, even better.
My son's ding-a-ling. Yeah.
I just because TikTok is like that is true. Like it's what's weird about it is it's highly censored. Like they told this comic told me if you have any swears or anything to bleep them out and all this stuff. And it's so odd for like this social media thing. And then you realize it's a Chinese company. It's a Chinese made app. That was why they like tried to ban it at first from Trump when Trump was in office and all this. And it was like, oh, that kind of makes sense why they're so strict, And then you trick the Chinese censors by calling a penis a ding-a-ling.
But
that's too far. That's a bridge too far for them on the translation. They're like, what does ding-a-ling mean? It sounds pretty wholesome.
That's the thing is I get this notice. It's like this video is no longer viewable to anyone but you because you have violated our adult nudity and sexual acts, blah, blah, blah. I was like, adult nudity? Are you kidding me?
Right.
I say the word penis, which is a medical term. You could say it on television. Meanwhile, you swipe up and there's some girl's ass, some high school girl's ass just bouncing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, I it was an injustice, but you got the last laugh,
I sure did. I was so paranoid. I was like, well, they have software so they know it's the same clip. So I put it in iMovie and I just added little bits of like music. I like started out with some music, and then I just kind of had it underneath. So you can hear if you watch the video, like, and then I'd get comments that like, hey, is that Sigur Rós? Sigur Rós rocks. So now I've got like the Sigur Rós fans, the ding-a-ling fans. I'm really cross-promoting.
You're like the Steven Soderbergh of child penis humor.
There you go. I'll take it.
You've put a lot of no, but yeah, so it's funny that now all these comedians, because it just spreads like wildfire, once
now I noticed
the secret's out. Now I've seen every comedian I know is posting their videos on there, which is great, like I think it's pandemic related too. I think people are like feel like trapped or they can't do stand up as much, so this is a way to be creative or kind of try and get new fans or something. But
it is
it's
weird
how
it's weird how I've been on Instagram forever. I've been on TikTok for a week and a half. I have 3 times as many followers on TikTok as I ever did on Instagram.
It's like it's funny because you get in this world with like Twitter and Instagram or whatever, social media in general. I think everybody falls into this trap where it's like you start to believe like there's value to like, oh, I have like this many followers. This is like I worked hard for these. This is valuable. It would be horrible if I ever lost all these. And then you join some other app and you completely double it or whatever with no effort, and you go, oh, this is all meaningless. None of this means anything. What I should not care about this as much. But that's why I like it, because I have no, like Instagram or Twitter, it's like there's other comedians I really know and respect on there, and I'm very worried. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I think a lot about like, oh, is that stupid or is that not funny? And I worry about the backlash or the judgment. But the great thing about TikTok is like I don't even look at it. I just throw it on there, and then I don't look at it again until the next day and throw another one on there, I don't care who anybody thinks, if it's good or bad. I've gotten comments that are like not as like mean comments or someone trying to be stupid to me or something. And it's like, do you think worried about this at all?
Yeah.
Do you know how old I am? I don't care what you think. I don't care what this is. What is this even? This is all make-believe. It's all stupid.
For being on TikTok.
Right.
Well,
you're taking the time
myself.
to criticize Anyway, but yeah,
Then you look at their
you
profile and they have 0 content posted. They just go on there to watch high school girls' butts and say not funny to comedians.
yeah, which is a noble pursuit of its own kind.
Well, yes.
But yeah, so I was surprised you didn't make the call and switch me out for a more successful TikToker.
We should
now that you're.
We should plug our. We haven't even said our TikTok names. We're
Oh,
just
do you have
talking
like a?
about it.
Do you have a special name?
No, it's just at Johnny Comic.
Oh, yeah, and mine's just my name, Andrew Slater.
Yeah.
But we should. I was telling you we should post the clips of the podcast on there because that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And then maybe our podcast will become a big hit.
I think so. All right, let's do it.
Anyway.
All right, should we get into it? Should we get?
Let's get it. We should get into it. This is pre-show banter. It's sucking up the
really
whole show
growing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. It's hogging up our show.
People love it.
We don't have a guest to blame it on this week.
Yeah, I still blame the guests.
Yeah,
they did something wrong.
Terrible.
You want to go first? You want me to go first? How do you want to do
it?
We'll
flip a coin. We'll flip a pen for it. I don't know what that means. All right.
I didn't call Bic.
All right, I'll go first.
You go first. Okay, what do you need backup on this week, Johnny?
Okay, so this is what irritates. This happened the other day, and this has happened. Everyone can relate. When people, there needs to be repercussions. When people say "just kidding" or "oh, I'm just joking," and they're not kidding, they're not joking. They just lied or were dishonest. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
it gets under my skin, but I never say anything because then it's like, oh, you're oversensitive. You're looking too much into it. Here's what happened. So I'm at the grocery store, and I got a bag of avocados for the wife, obviously. I don't eat that shit. And it only had 3 in it, and it said 4 count or whatever. So the bag girl was like, oh, I'll switch it. So she goes, and I pay, and then she comes back, and she's like, the bags all just have 3. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And she goes, I'm just kidding. That's not funny. That's not a joke. How is that funny? That's not funny, And then I look like an idiot for being like, oh, really? Oh. How was I supposed to know that you're kidding?
Right.
Like, is that really a funny joke?
Let me tell you something. I'm going to back you up. And this is so perfect because this happens so much in my house. We call it Heidi humor. That's literally because she'll just literally say something that's not true. Like she'll get off the phone with her mom and be like, yeah, I guess she had like a problem at work and then she's lost her job or something. I'm like, what? Oh, that's awful. Like, no. And I'm like, that's not a joke. That wasn't a joke at all. And she's like, you fell for it. I had you. It's like, yeah, you had. Why would I just think that you're lying? Why wouldn't I trust you? She does that constantly. So much so we literally call it Heidi humor because it's exactly what you're talking about. It's not any sort of joke in the traditional form. Right. It's just a lie that then she says is not a lie, that she says I'm lying, and then we are all like, ah. Or like, you know what it is? The thing, because people do that, the common one, and she's done this one, is like, let's say you had like 2 tickets to the, Super Bowl or something, and then you show up and it's like, oh, I don't have the tickets. Do you have the tickets? Like that thing. Yeah. Like, I got the tickets. And she's like, but aren't you? And then she'll say, aren't you so relieved though now that I have the tickets? No, it wasn't worth what I went through. That moment of panic.
That was fun for only you. For
right.
me, I was like irritated. I thought my day was over, and then immediately was back to normal. Like
also that avocado one was even worse because
no stakes. I didn't.
There's no stakes. You don't care. You're hoping the bags have 0 avocados in them. That would be the only way that this could get any better. So she's like, I gotcha. Like you didn't elevate my blood pressure at all. I promise you. I was exactly the same as before. Yeah. No, so I agree 100%. And then, I even see comedians sometimes. This is kind of a different thing, but I'll see comedians on the internet. I don't want to say who it is, this last one, but they'll say something like, that's just a statement, It is in no way a joke
Oh yeah, yeah.
and in no way funny. And they're literally just saying their opinion very clearly, which is fine. Totally fine. I think comedians should get to say their opinions whenever they want. They have the right, just like everybody else. But then when people attack them or say your opinion sucks or I don't agree with you, they go, hey, I'm a comedian. I just make jokes. Hey, you can't take a joke? And they're like, well, yes, I can, but that wasn't a joke. And now, like you said, I look like an asshole for not having a sense of humor, for just disagreeing with you, but you weren't being ironic, you know?
Right. Yeah, there's no setup, there's no joke.
Right. No, we all read the Judy Carter book. We know how this works.
Exactly. We all read this book. Oh, I think it's.
Do you have it up there?
It's up there.
Oh, it's
on
not
the shelf
visible.
too high.
Just turn your camera up and show us, Johnny.
It's up here, right up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, people, if you're gonna tell jokes out there, make sure they have a clear structure.
Take it to an open mic, run it a few times, and if it gets a laugh, then you can bring it to the bagging section of the grocery store.
Have you felt your social, like, comedy skills deteriorating? Like the way to be funny with a cashier, or were you ever funny with a cashier? Like, were you one of those guys who was
I'm
pretty
not
funny
a
out in
silly
public?
guy. Like Jason Russell is the guy that's like I hate. I would rather sit in the car while he runs his fucking errands because best friends with everyone. I find it irritating.
Yeah,
no, it's not me. Why is that you?
No. I feel like sometimes I pick my spots, and I try to be funny with like the rental car agent or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I'm constantly in my head like, oh, they get this shit all the time, or some dumb, let's just move this as fast as possible. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
But like my friend Brant, who's been on the podcast, he is not like that. He'll chat him up and be funny, and it usually seems like it works out. Like he'll get some sort of discount, or they seem very happy about it, So sometimes I feel like, oh man, I'm a comedian and I don't bring joy to anyone's life.
Well, I know. That's why I say I want to sit in the car when Jason does it, because all it does is make me feel like a real stick in the mud.
Yeah, I know. And then you feel like paralyzed. The more it's happening, the more you're like, just no one ask me what I do for a living.
Yeah, because they will not believe it.
Or like the hair. Yeah, when you get your hair cut and they ask what you do for a living, it's like, oh boy, here it comes. I'm a comedian and I'm never funny. Let's just move past it.
Yeah. The only time I'll try to be funny, well, actually, that's not even trying to be funny with them, is when I am with friends and we had a drive-through at McDonald's and I asked them if they still serve Air Biscuits. But that's more for me,
right?
Not for them.
Yeah, I try to like make the person, if I'm with my friends or like with Heidi, I'll try to make her laugh and say something dumb to the person that they're not going to either get or think is
right. They're just a tool in your joke.
Right. Cuz like we were walking and Heidi was telling me like, "Oh no, go around this person," cuz they were like sitting out in a parking lot and I had Trudy and I was going to go right through and they didn't have masks. She was like, "No, go around this person." And this lady goes she goes, "Oh, I see who's in charge," or something like that, like trying to be funny, to me and Heidi. And I go, "Yeah, I am," just really strong. And she laughed, the lady, and I got really more serious. I go, "No, I mean I really am." And then I try to make Heidi. And Heidi was so embarrassed. Yeah, just really. I was like, "How do I heighten this?"
Right.
Shoved her down. How dare you embarrass me in front of these people?
Strangers.
No. But yeah, I'm backing you up. No more Heidi humor.
Heidi humor, anyone.
Yeah. Nobody else gets to do it.
What do you got?
Here's what I got. Speaking of relationships, I guess, in a way, I think it's always worse to try and, especially with like your wife or someone you kind of know pretty well, don't ever try and like let it let me down easy. Just being direct. Just be direct in all cases. So like, people, if someone needed like you to do the dishes, right? There's nothing worse than like, hey, so those dishes are still in there, and it's just that, I can't remember, but maybe I've done them the last 4 or 5 times. It's like, do you need me to do the dishes? Just say, Andrew, please go do the dishes. And I'm guilty of it too. I go the other, because I think I'm being nice. I think like I say, hey, would you mind, it's just that. And it's like, just say the thing. It's just faster, and it's actually less insulting, because the whole time the person you're asking the thing of immediately knows what you're getting at. Yeah. And now they just have to listen to your big preamble, and they're getting madder and madder just waiting for the request to come.
Right. They're just sitting there. They've done the puzzle. They know what you're talking about. They're just waiting for confirmation. Okay, this is what he's asking.
Yeah. So I say just do it. Just ask. Just say the thing you need to say. Like if you don't like like a shirt, or you think someone smells bad, just be like if someone was smelly, like let's say you had a roommate, right? A really smelly roommate. Like, what is better? I think everyone's instinct is to be non-confrontational. So you go, oh, maybe I'll buy him deodorant for his birthday, or we'll get him this cool shower caddy, or like just make like little. But what would actually be better for everybody, and the least insulting thing, you go, hey man, you stink. You don't smell good, and it's probably affecting you socially. It's sure affecting us. You got to wash up. That would probably be the best, healthiest way. It's a hard thing to do, but I think everybody should strive for more of that.
I agree. Totally agree. Oh, my gosh. If I had to tell you how many people told me that I wish that people just told me, shower, you smell, because I get so many shower caddies and shower flip-flops and soap. No,
Remember, I bought you that.
Stinky guy. What?
I bought you that bath bomb.
That's right.
On the cruise ship.
Right. Yeah. So I could take a bath in my shower in the cruise ship.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think like every time Heidi and I get in an argument, it's because one of us is trying too hard not
to tiptoe.
To tiptoe into the request, when everybody would have just been happier to be like, sometimes she'll do this thing where she'll go like, yeah, I haven't had lunch yet today. And it's like, what? If you wanted me to make you lunch, I don't know. What is that? What are you telling me for? Like, I ate lunch. I don't miss a meal. I never miss. I know exactly. I eat when I'm even close to being hungry. I'm like, I've already thought like 4 meals ahead. Like, I'm never missing a meal. So I don't have that problem. But
not to change subjects, but I miss lunch all the time, because
I know.
Well, now that the kids are back at school, not so much, but like I got 3 kids I'm wrangling. I'm making them stuff. I just don't make my own, because I don't want to, I make sure they eat healthy, and that's just not appealing to me. So I'll make them their food, and I just don't eat. I'm always.
Would there be a way though to like build an unhealthy lunch from the things that you're making for your kids? Like if you could just take like the peanut butter or the bread, you know what I mean? Like there's no way to construct a Johnny lunch.
Bread, that is
like what you're making.
That's the healthy lunch I'm talking about.
That you don't want to eat? Oh.
No, I'm kidding. It's not. No, I eat healthy.
You're a skinny guy. That's the thing. It's so funny how we talk, because you're always talking about Taco Bell.
35 pounds.
You look like, you look amazing and thin and in good shape, and I'm the guy who's probably gained weight during the pandemic. So it's just ironic that I'm the one. I think my thing is I'll eat everything. I'll eat unhealthy and I'll eat like the healthy stuff. I just like to eat.
Well, while the other comedians were on, I did finish an entire pint of Ben and Jerry's.
What flavor?
I've never not finished that. It was the cookie dough one. I only eat the cookie dough or the peanut butter cups.
I like New York Super Fudge Chunk, and I like the Stephen Colbert one. That's a good one. I don't know if you should try that one. It's like the waffle cone and caramel. But one time I was did you know that Ben and Jerry makes a vanilla flavor? Can you imagine a bigger waste of your time and money than buying Ben
No.
and Jerry's
No,
vanilla.
because I would eat that. It sounds. I
Just
love
vanilla, but
ice
just
cream.
buy vanilla ice cream. Then just buy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what they sell. I know. That's
I
it.
know, but why are you buying it Ben and Jerry's pint form? It seems like a waste. Like just buy the big. The cost the same. Like it's like $5.99 for like a thing of dryers. You
Oh,
get a
yeah.
way bigger one. That's my point.
Yeah, since I've been with Erin, she's a real quality snob when it comes to food. Like I'll get the gross, disgusting. It's not even ice cream. It's just chemicals. Like ice cream flavor.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
It's like ice cream, but then it's spelled like CREEM. It's like we can't technically call this cream.
And she'll be like, "Oh, that's terrible. I don't want any of that." I'm like, "Why? It's delicious, and it was $1 for a gallon." You
Yeah,
know?
for the big plastic tub with the plastic handle. Yeah. And it's like just like Carnival. It's like this is from the Carnival or something. It's a clown on it.
I love that stuff.
Oh man, but okay, so I'm the guy who was on here complaining about like expensive donuts and expensive ice cream, But I will say I've purchased the Jenny's ice cream before, which is like $8 a pint. Like no joke.
Oh wow.
Like it is extremely expensive and it's worth it is that much better than regular ice cream.
Do they have it everywhere? I might have to try it.
No. Like fancy grocery stores will have it though. They should have it.
Okay.
I think it's from like Cleveland or something. I think it's like a Midwestern brand.
Huh.
But I first saw it in LA and it's like incredible. It's just like so much. It's just worth it.
You know what my brother told me? He said that ice cream is the only food they have to tell people after they get the stomach surgery, whatever. To eat, like because it's the only food that you can just keep eating and you won't, because it just melts and just goes through. So you like don't get too full. Like the whole thing with the stomachs, you feel full. With ice cream, it's the only food you don't. So they like have to tell you that. And I always think that as I'm eating my Ben and Jerry's.
I could just eat this forever.
I could
There's
eat it
just no and
it's the magic. It's the perfect food.
It's the perpetual motion of dessert.
Yeah.
That's interesting because my dad used to say that. My dad would eat like a meal, and talk about how full he was and then have ice cream. My mom's like, "You said you were so full." And he goes, "Nah, it's ice cream. It just slides right through."
It's true, I guess.
And he was right.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Score one for Dad. Okay, well, what else do you need? I feel backed up. Yeah.
Do we have time for another round?
Yeah, we can go quick here. Yeah, we
Right.
can each do a
So
quick
this
one.
This is good that this is just a Andrew and Johnny topic because I don't need this getting diluted by some, random horseshit asshole on the show.
Some useless sack of shit that we asked to come on here, spend an hour of their time for free and promote it.
So anyway, so this is, I don't know what I need backup on, but this is something I've always had this theory, and I'm going to get your take the same way. Like, let's say I'm just boggled by how just everything we have in the world and technology. And I think like, okay, if everybody in the world disappeared and everybody was replaced with like me, there was just a bunch of Johnny Beehners of my intelligence and all that, there is no way we would have like figured out electricity or have planes.
Yeah.
Like it blows my mind. Like I think maybe I would have figured out like a wagon, or like like the wheel thing. But like beyond that, there's no way we'd have electricity.
Oh, wait.
Fire maybe. By accident, I would have stumbled by that somehow.
Right.
But other than that,
Okay, I was confused because I thought you're saying if there is no technology.
Yeah, I'm saying back in the day, if like from day one, it was just
and there's like 5 million
occupying.
Johnny Beehners.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting like nature versus nurture argument because, would one of those Johnny Beaners, because of some competitive situation they're in, be better than you, the so the way they exist in the world, they would learn because they had to like whatever was their circumstances. You know what I mean? Would they become more intelligent and industrious than you are
Yeah, I don't think so.
currently?
But I mean, like,
So you think you
like,
have no
that's changing the
capacity?
question, huh?
No. It's the same question because, like, it would take time to invent things, right? Of 5 million Johnny Beaners on the planet, and there's no technology currently. It would probably take like a few, I don't know, like a long time. But I mean, how much intelligence? Okay, how much knowledge does each Johnny like? How much do you start with? Nothing, like total, like just caveman.
What I got today.
So what you know now about science and math and stuff, you would also know in this scenario.
Well, no, I mean, we'd have to figure it out because I wouldn't know it, you know, like. But
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, I don't know how to enunciate it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we, maybe if it was a million Johnny Beaners, we'd be teleporting by now. I don't know. I don't think so. I think we'd still have wagons.
So your contention is no. I kind of agree with you, but you're saying like in each generation, there's like a few geniuses that we're all sort of riding on the backs of as a society. So like there's like probably like out of 100 people, or out of like 1 million people, like one of them is smart enough to really move the ball forward each time. Like one guy invented fire, then everybody's making fires. Right. Then one guy figured out the wheel.
But I think even things like even the guy that figured out freaking airplanes, everyone that has figured it out after him, that's pretty smart, you know? Like I used to have a joke where I talk about how I just don't understand how microwaves work. How do you get something that hot that fast? You know what I mean? And I had to stop doing it because people would explain it to me after the show all the time. And I just didn't. I'm like, no, you don't get it. I don't care. I don't understand. And I don't care. I'm not trying to figure it out.
Right.
I'm just explaining to you how my mind is boggled by this. Like how airplanes stay in the air because they're so fucking heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The flight thing is really funny because, it wasn't like, there's the Wright brothers, right? They made the first airplane. But then there were other people at that time trying to figure it out. Like everybody was sort of getting close around the same time. And then the Wright brothers got it. Mm-hmm. And the reason why theirs worked and that they would just sit there and look at birds. It seems so simple. I read this book about them. They would just look at birds and go, "Oh, we should." So you know how planes have wings and look like bird? That's how they figure that out. They're like, "Oh, see how that bird's doing it? Yeah. We'll give them wings like that."
What did other people's machines look like?
Well, you saw all those stupid things from the balloon was the big one for a while, and then they had the ones that they tried to make them flap.
Oh yeah. From all those old black and white videos.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, those gliders and stuff. But no. So anyway, I think that there would be a period of darkness in the Johnny Beaner world, but then eventually some Johnny Beaners would because of their circumstances rise above other Johnny Beaners, and maybe somebody would invent something at some point. But yeah.
But I mean, electricity.
Well, no, because it took human beings. No, because how long did it take human beings to make electricity? It took a generation.
I don't even know the answer to that question. That's what we're dealing with here.
Well, that's to me the interesting question is if you time traveled back in time. Mm-hmm. So everything you know now, and you take it and put it in 1452 or something.
Well, that's like Nate Bargatze's joke. Have you heard his joke?
Oh,
if I could time travel, I don't think I'd even be able to prove it because I'm so dumb.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's the bit. But I was just saying, how much could you add to? I was thinking, how much could I really push this? I mean, what could I tell them about the world that they didn't know that I could I'd be like, no, actually, this is the way an outlet works. And then what do you mean? How? And then I'd have to go, Well, there's holes, and you put it in the wall. There's wires. Do you have wires yet?
If I could time travel, like if I found myself in the past, I would just I would just like write the scripts of my favorite movies and try to sell them.
And it's like the 1400s. They're like, "What is a movie? What is this for?
What
are we
is Ace
supposed to?"
Ventura? What is that? That's the movie I bring to the 1400s.
I know, and that seems very Jim Carrey dependent. I don't know if Ace Ventura would have worked with like a Shakespearean actor. So I don't know if I guess I'm backing you up. I don't know. I kind of agree with you. But you don't think. But I see. I think you're a little pessimistic about your intelligence. But you have the capacity to like learn and grow and become smarter. You know.
You just don't utilize it.
I'm like this scolding 6th grade teacher. Like, Johnny, you have so much more potential than you're showing. I mean, I'm not doing anything either. I don't know. Okay.
Right, well,
I'm backing you up.
I got what I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
All right. What's yours? What's your last?
This is really quick, and this isn't even really funny. But I just feel like I want to say it because I don't, not to get political at all, but I think so. When the pandemic first started, and like all of the gigs that we had got wiped off the books, like I imagined a scenario that was very bad, very dark, because that there was like no money. I didn't know how I was going to make money, And then there was all these like programs that they were talking about. Maybe you can be on unemployment as a comedian, but it seemed impossible to figure out, and you couldn't get through. And then there's these loans, and maybe you don't have to pay. You can get them, and then you don't have to pay them back. But then we're not. There's all this paperwork and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was very frustrated with like the government and everything going on. And I have to say, a year in now, here's what I want backup on. Would you also say that you're actually pretty impressed with the amount of aid that has come from the government during COVID? I would have never guessed we would have gotten as much support as I've now gotten, both via those loans and the unemployment. And I'm only speaking for my own, because I know there's probably people out there who's like, oh no, we got totally screwed and we haven't gotten nearly enough. But I'm just saying, if you would have told me like there'd been this much of the stimulus money, this much in unemployment, or this much in loans available, or whatever, I would have been like, wow, that's actually more than I thought the government was ever capable of.
Oh, totally. Yes. I totally back you. Totally agree. Yeah. Going into it, I would have, and those loans, I was like, that just sounds fishy. I'm not even going to bother. There's a catch.
It can't be true, because we were conditioned. I don't know. I've been conditioned with government and stuff to just believe like, no, there's no way. Or even unemployment, I was like, that doesn't work. Or like, if you try it, they're going to kick you off because, you didn't apply for 10 jobs or something. And I was like, there's no way this is going to work. And it's all kind of worked. I mean, from the people I talked to, again, I understand there might be people out there like, no way, it hasn't worked and it's not working for me. I get that. Yeah. But like after some initial headaches, I'm like, if you would have told me this is how you're going to ride out the pandemic and this is what I would have been like, wow, that would have been very comforting to know a year ago.
Yeah, it would have alleviated a lot of stress and anxiety that we did have to carry with us. I know. At first, it was very scary.
And if I had known we would have had that much, such a financial windfall from the U.S. government, I wouldn't have started this stupid podcast.
Oh, God. Me neither.
This lucrative podcast venture that I did to survive the pandemic. No. This is a labor of love, friends. But anyway, I just wanted to say that because it's very easy to just be mad at the government all the time, and I was at the time and have been in the past and stuff, probably will be in the future. But I feel like you got to give it up.
Yeah, you got to play fair.
And I got to admit when I was wrong, because I was wrong. I really was skeptical that would have been possible.
Yep. Let's see. You
So
are
there
a
you
good
go.
person. It all comes full circle. You are a good person. Look at that.
Now, if they'll just pass my tiny dog allowed on airplanes bill, I will believe
Which
in
it sounds
government
like
again.
Alaska Airlines did.
Yeah, they have no problem.
Sweet.
Anyway, that's it.
That's it. All right. Do you have anything you got to plug, even though this probably won't come out for 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, I am, with these vaccines, I am getting back out there. I'll be at Laughs Comedy Club in May. I think the third weekend in May in Seattle. So any Seattle people listening, you can get your shot. I think by May 1st, everyone in the country should be able to get a shot. So it should be good by the third week of May. So come out to a show.
No excuses not to go to Andrew's show.
That's right.
All right.
And
I'm sorry. I want to apologize to all of the people that left 5-star reviews that we just didn't get around to backing up your topics.
But
Next
we
week
will.
We will start with that.
We promise.
That next week. Yes.
And do that if you haven't already, because we will get to it. And thanks for listening.
It's ridiculous that we're not just that's not half the show. If my favorite podcast said, "Hey, you can have an input. We will talk about what you want to talk about," I'd be writing them. I'd be making fake ones, fake accounts, so I could get more on.
By the way, the last one we did was Marianne. She needed help with her. She wanted backup on her used towels, vintage towels. And I talked to her. She said she was thrilled. She was like, it was a thrill hearing her topic on the podcast. That could be you,
Yeah, that could be you. I talked to Troy McClure. He said he masturbated from the beginning to the end of that segment. So, for what it's worth, are we trying to gain or lose listeners?
I don't know how this works. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody, and see you next week
on
the Cavalry.
The Cavalry.